Coming off the Elimination Chamber, we have Danhausen cursing. We have unmasking luchadors. We have CM Punk burying people. We'll talk about it. I'm your host, MVP, and I'm going raw. We open up with the Vision. Paul Heyman is pissed as the fans sing Seth Rollins' song. Seth Rollins is not out there. They're just going to oh. Paul Heyman is hating it. He says Seth stole the credit for co-founding the Vision. He stole the credit for forming the Shield. Says Seth Rollins stole the main event of WrestleMania from Logan Paul. Says if Seth Rollins steps foot in the ring, the Vision is going to stomp him out. And it's not a prediction. It's not a spoiler. It's a personal guarantee. Logan Paul calls Seth Rollins a scumbag. He eliminated 3 people in the chamber, and Seth stole his victory. Then he threatens to hold the show hostage until Seth Rollins comes out. Well, Adam Pearce comes out with security and insinuates that the Vision attacked Jey Uso on SmackDown. Says Seth Rollins is not medically cleared to compete. And we get a masked man that comes out and security chase him. Then we get a second masked man come out, and then Logan Paul goes to chase him. A third masked man comes out, and Austin Theory chases him. This all basically to set up Paul Heyman being alone in the ring. And we have another masked man on the rampway, and that's holding Paul Heyman's attention. And from behind, we have a last masked man, and it turns out to be Seth Rollins, and um, he just whacks Paul Heyman with a chair. And credit to Paul Heyman, this was a hell of a chair shot. And then Seth Rollins hits him with the stomp. Paul Heyman is then helped out of the arena into an ambulance, and he's visibly bloodied, probably from his nose. It's not real, but that's what the presentation is. Austin Theory and Logan Paul come to the ambulance to check on Heyman. Logan Paul says he's going to go get the car. And then Theory closes the ambulance door and sees what probably he thought was Logan Paul in the car. But then out comes Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy Uso attacks Theory. And then Jimmy walks up to the ambulance, and who's in the driver's seat? None other than LA Knight. And he says Heyman's going to get all the help he needs. On commentary, Michael Cole was like, "Oh, the Vision is getting attacked by all their enemies." So we'll see. Gunther defeats Dragon Lee. Gunther makes his entrance, and Dragon Lee attacks him before the match. And this is a very, very physical match. There were times where Gunther looks to be getting counted out, and Dragon Lee getting power bombed on the outside and thrown around on the outside over the table. And then Gunther hits his power bomb in the ring, then puts a sleeper hold on. And he then pulls Dragon Lee's mask off, and then Dragon Lee taps out. Very, like I said, very, very physical match. Dragon Lee gets in a lot of offense, and the crowd was getting behind him pretty well. The whole mask off kind of makes you wonder: is he maybe working his way to Rey Mysterio? Maybe Rey Mysterio might be the next guy. We'll see. AJ Lee hits the ring. She panders to the crowd, puts over Becky to an extent, and puts herself over, proves to herself that she's still championship material, says that since Becky Boo Boo is behind her, WrestleMania is ahead of her. And she's not waiting until WrestleMania. She's going to be a fighting champion. It's been 12 years since she's held the title, and she's not taking it for granted. And she wants to fight the best of the best. And if you're championship material, Show me what you got. And then a little later on, we see Lyra and Bailey. They're um, they're trying to figure out what's next, and then they go to see Adam Pearce to see about a shot at the Intercontinental title. And as they walk in, Io Sky comes out, probably for the same thing. AJ kind of made it look like she might have been having like an open challenge, and then puts it away. Hey, I'm gonna the next time um, you're gonna see me in the ring. You're gonna see me defend this title. Next week we're gonna get Lyra versus Bailey versus Io versus Asuka versus Raquel and Ivy Nile for a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. This makes me think on SmackDown for the Women's United States Championship with Julia, maybe they'll end up doing the same thing because it's kind of that title's kind of in a flux right now. So we'll see what happens there. In the back, they show Gable Americano and Penta have a moment. And then Kaiser Americano, along with Rayo and Bravo, they come in. And right now, Gable is just talking full blown English, Chad Gable, and challenges one of the Americano brothers. And it turns out to be Rayo. So we have Gable Americano versus Rayo. Gable defeats Rayo. Um, During the match, he had a funny exchange on commentary with Graves and Michael Cole saying, "Well, this is the real El Grande Americano," talking about Gable because he's wearing red, white, and blue. If you see Kaiser Americano, he's wearing this awesome black and gold type deal. But then Graves very quickly says, "Well, Grande Americano is also a coffee," which was kind of funny. This was a fun match, but Gable comes out with the win. Um, this definitely has to culminate at Mania, where it should be mask versus mask, but we'll see. They have something going on with AAA sometime in the next week or so. But this feud got to culminate at Mania, mask versus mask for sure. Liv Morgan is shown um, in a pre-taped promo. She's admitting she is privileged for getting signed to WWE at 20. Stephanie didn't make it the first time around, and basically she's living in a primitive country. And Liv is gonna give Stephanie the privilege of facing the Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. Now, this promo was probably Liv Morgan's best promo um, ever. Main roster, NXT. This is really selling this match, and I know I said I wanted to see maybe Liv Morgan versus Raquel, but I'm now sold on this match because of this promo. Liv Morgan did a good job here. A little bit later, Judgment Day is shown backstage. Liv is hyping up Raquel to get a title shot. She's championship. She looked like a beast in the chamber. And then off to the side, you have Finn, Dom, and JD. Finn isn't happy about losing, but he's at peace. And then Dom said he's got a title match tonight, and you guys have my back. And Finn's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna do it on your own." And then Dom very quickly switches to, "Oh, I am, but after the match, do you got my back?" And yeah, very beginnings of the ascension of the Judgment Day. It looks like we have Rusev out there, and he challenges Oba Femi Oba comes out and they get into a quick brawl, and you know it's revealed next week. We got Rusev versus Oba. Now this can only go two ways. I see it's either going to be Rusev being squashed, or they just beat each other, and with no regard to the rules, and it becomes a no contest. But we're gonna get Rusev and Oba finally next week. Jimmy Uso defeats Austin Theory by DQ. Logan Paul almost immediately hits the ring and causes the disqualification. Logan and Austin Theory double team Jimmy, and then we hear Jey Uso's music hit, and Logan Paul and Austin Theory just look towards the entrance way. And then while they're looking, Jay comes up from behind with a couple of crutches, and he hands one to Jimmy, and the Usos hit Austin Theory and Logan Paul with the crutches. They take out Logan Paul to the outside and then hit Austin Theory with one D. This very, very much looks like it's going to be the vision that's Austin Theory and Logan Paul against the Usos at Mania for the tag titles. Really does look like it's going to head in this direction. Danhausen makes his Raw debut. He's in the back with Adam Pearce, and he gives Adam Pearce a list of demands. He wants his own assistant. He wants to be in the Hall of Fame this year. And Adam Pearce is looking at his list of demands like, why is this wet? He's like, oh, I dropped it in the toilet. Very, very, very funny segment. Adam Pearce leaves, and in comes the Judgment Day. And Danhausen's like, hi, Finn. Hi, Dom. Doesn't know JD. And then he looks at Dom's titles, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is the closest you're ever going to get to a championship. And then Danhausen puts the curse on Dom. Next is Penta versus Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. And the big question here is, will Judgment Day get involved? And Dominik is looking really strong here. He kicks out of a Penta driver. Later on in the match, we got Dom asking for JD to bring him the ring bell hammer. And then Finn stops him, says, hey, he's got to do it on his own. Then Penta jumps over Dom onto the outside and onto JD and Finn and effectively takes him out. He gets back in the ring and Dom attacks him from behind to set up the 619. But then Penta moves out of the way and hits a Mexican Destroyer for the win. And we now have a new Intercontinental Champion. Definitely next week, Dom is going to have his issues with Finn. And definitely building towards a Finn versus Dominik Mysterio at WrestleMania. However, everyone thought, myself included, this would be for the Intercontinental Championship. Looks like it's not. And then hopefully we get to see Finn get elevated back up to the main event scene. We close out Raw with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out, does his spiel, acknowledge me, and is very much immediately interrupted by CM Punk. They throw insults back and forth with each other. CM Punk says for the next 6 months he has to carry Roman's bullshit up to WrestleMania. And CM Punk brings up bringing up the Shield to the dance. Roman says, no, you didn't pick me. And this is a nod at Punk had the idea for the Shield way back when. And it was Rollins, Ambrose, and it was supposed to be Cassius Ohno, or Chris Hero, and they vetoed the Hero, and it was Roman, so it was a little nod at that. But Punk says he might not have picked Roman, but Roman picked him, for the main event of WrestleMania. Roman says if he didn't have that title, that he would be indifferent to him. He says we brought you back to entertain the 30 and 40-year-old virgins out there. We brought you back to sell a couple T-shirts. Brought you back to sell out Chicago. We didn't bring you back to be the champion. And you can lie in your reviews, you can lie in your podcast, you can hang out with my cousins, but every second you get your bitching and your moaning back there, you cannot wait to tell me when I'm around. And you're not CM Punk, you're just a punk ass bitch to me. And then when I beat you at WrestleMania, we're gonna put you on a Cena retirement tour. And after that, we're gonna put you in NXT, and you're gonna help build the next generation that's gonna come up, and I'm gonna smash. And then CM Punk points out that he's alone. He's alone on his bus. He's alone in the back, because he's got his own locker room. And you don't have a Shield anymore. And you don't have a Wise Man anymore, because I took that from you. You're chasing me. I'm not chasing you. I'm the reason you're main eventing WrestleMania. And you can hate me all you want, but you won't disrespect me. And at WrestleMania, I'm going to bury you next to your father. Uh, this segment cooked. We have another segment with Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and it's cooking. And we have 5 more weeks of this. And let's just hope we have the same amount of cookage out of the next 5 weeks that we have these past 2 times that these two interacted in the ring together. From beginning to end, very, very solid Raw. What was your favorite part of Raw? Put it down in the comments below. And if you're new here, please subscribe, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Your boys at Triple Threat Wrestling, we bring out content, wrestling content to you all the time. And while you're subscribing, check the link tree in the description box below. Um, you're gonna buy your WWE merch. You're gonna buy your Finn Bálor shirt. You're gonna buy your OTC hoodie, and you can, and you should. But while you do it, just click on our link tree below. We have our links to all the affiliates. When you get your merchandise, it doesn't cost you a thing, but it gives a kickback to us at Triple Threat Wrestling, so we can bring out this wrestling content to you. And this is another MVP Goes Raw, and I'm MVP or not. See you later.